has only been recognised as something that judges need for about 20 years. But in that 20 years we've made terrific progress, partly because of the support of the senior judiciary. Successive Lord Presidents and Lord Justice Clerks have supported the notion of judicial training and encouraged it. And we have, as Dan has said, a bespoke training suite in Parliament House, and we run courses for judges at all levels, from Justices of the Peace, sheriffs, summary sheriffs, High Court judges and inner house judges. So we cover the full range of judges, and generally there's a very good uptake of that. One of the real pleasures for me when I was seconded as Deputy Director a couple of years ago was the network of contacts that the Judicial Institute had amongst a variety of user groups. It's fair to say, I think, probably that judges are still perceived as being slightly out of touch and not really knowing what's going on in the world. And I think it's also reasonable to think there's a perception that for the criminal justice system, at least, one size fits all, and there isn't much variety in relation to the way that different litigants or different parties appearing before the courts are dealt with. And I hope that the involvement of the judiciary in this kind of thing will dispel some of these myths. Scotland has only recognised as something that judges need for about 20 years, but in that 20 years we've made terrific progress, partly because of the support of the senior judiciary. Successive Lord Presidents and Lord Justice Clerks have supported the notion of judicial training and encouraged it. And we have, as Dan has said, a bespoke training suite in Parliament House, and we run courses for judges at all levels, from Justices of the Peace, sheriffs, summary sheriffs, High Court judges and inner house judges. So we cover the full range of judges, and generally there's a very good uptake of that. One of the real pleasures for me when I was seconded as Deputy Director a couple of years ago was the network of contacts that the Judicial Institute had amongst a variety of user groups. It's fair to say, I think, probably that judges are still perceived as being slightly out of touch and not really knowing what's going on in the world. And I think it's also reasonable to think there's a perception that for the criminal justice system, at least, one size fits all, and there isn't much variety in relation to the way that different litigants or different parties appearing before the courts are dealt with. And I hope that the involvement of the judiciary in this kind of thing will dispel some of these myths. We have, and I think the only part of the work that we do I want to mention is that we have something called the Equal Treatment Benchbook, which is in fact publicly available on the website of the Judiciary for Scotland. And that is in fact award-winning. We were given an award by the Rainbow Alliance because of the work that we had done in relation to LGBTI parties. And we were very pleased indeed to receive an award for public initiative because of the benchbook. And we have a group with which we work, a group that oversees the Equal Treatment Benchbook, ensures that it's up to date in relation to trends, even vocabulary. You'll be aware that sometimes the vocabulary can change in relation to different groups. And that has allowed us, I think, to reflect back to the judiciary the modern 21st century society that we live in, and the importance of the judiciary taking account of that. It would be remiss of me not to mention, one of my colleagues attended a conference. She heard Kenny Mackay speak, invited Kenny to come and contribute to us, and now I think on a couple of occasions Kenny has contributed, and it has been very well received indeed in relation to just informing judges a little bit more about the particular issues that offenders with learning disabilities may encounter in the courts. Now, we can't necessarily have answers for everything, and the importance of the judges to be independent and impartial, but being aware of the social context in which we operate is fundamental to doing justice, and we hope that the Judicial Institute contributes to that in making the judiciary more in touch, more aware, more socially aware as they go about their daily business. I think a couple of things. I was asked to just mention again the panel session, and I think a paper was distributed to everyone to look at. The idea is that this afternoon we'll break up into breakout groups. There will be a facilitator and a scribe at each of the groups who will note down what's been said, and the plan is that that will then be put together and given back to everybody who's participated as a record of the day, of the discussions that took place, the ideas that took place. Another thing I was asked to mention, as you probably noticed, Tony's manning the camera, is that today is being filmed, again to be part of a resource that can be going back to because of the usefulness of the contributions that we're anticipating today. And that brings me to the first of our contributions. We're going to hear first of all from Steve Robertson from People First. And Steve is going to share with us his own personal experience of involvement in the criminal justice system. And he's asked me to say that these are personal reflections about something that has not yet been resolved. And he felt it important to share, and I think it's very valuable indeed that he shares these. He felt it important to share these with us because they are at the heart of improving support for accused persons with learning disabilities. But because the matter's not resolved, because there's obviously a personal sensitivity, Steve's asked me to ask that discussion about it is really restricted to discussions that take place today in the various rooms and in the panel session, rather than taking it out of the room more generally, and I hope that we can respect that.